Okay, we had 3 questions left on this sheet to go over. They were in the back. They were number 16, 17, and 18. Number 16 says, what is the resistance? So you're looking for R. What is the resistance of a circuit if there's a potential difference, that's capital V, of 120 volts supplied to a circuit and a current of 4 amps is flowing through it. So I is 4 amps. So you're going to use Ohm's law, V equals IR, so R equals V over I. So 120 volts over 4 amps, higher order math, but you might get R is equal to volts over amps are ohms. Number 17, what is the potential difference? This time you're looking for V. Applied to a circuit if there is 2 amps, that's I, of current flowing through a resistance, R, of 60 ohms. So this time V equals IR, so 2 amps times 60 ohms, equally higher order math, 120 volts. And number 18, how much current? Oh, this time you're solving for I. In a circuit that has a potential difference, V, of 240 volts, power supply hooked up to a 300 ohm, so R is 300 ohm load. Okay, so again, V equals IR, so this time I equals V divided by R, so 240 volts over 300 ohms, 24 over 30, 4 over 5, I should be equal to 0.8 of an amp. Okay, so those were the 3 questions I had asked you to do for homework, so they shouldn't have been too tough. I also asked you to start to work on the lab a little, or to look at it, and I gave you this sheet. So just a quick little review of this sheet. Remember, the top part is the title page. Okay, so this line is just here because I didn't want to waste another page, but in the center of the page, you would put like Lab 1, mapping a magnetic field. Down here, you would put your name, your partner's name. Over here, Science 12-2 and the date. Some people like putting a picture on it. Feel free if you want. You don't have to. Okay, inside the report, the purpose, you're going to take it right off the lab. The purpose was explain the, shoot, I just have to reach the lab. I can't see it. Sorry. Explore the shape, direction, and interaction of magnetic fields. Okay, so you could just write that down directly. Materials, 2 bar magnets, sheets of paper, compass, iron filing, yep. And then the next, so you can also just write that. Oh, hypothesis, shoot, I forgot to make you predict a hypothesis. So now try to go back, like before you saw what you saw. And what were you expecting to see? And maybe just kind of predict that. I know it's after the fact, and I'm sorry. And this could have been a cool one. So try to not be biased by what you saw. What would you have predicted you were going to see sprinkling those iron filings around? Okay. Procedure: step-by-step chronological listing of what was done in the past tense and impersonal. And this is always the one that messes people up. Okay, so it says past tense impersonal. So step 1, move a compass around a bar magnet. You cannot just say moved a compass around a bar magnet. That'll make your English teacher grow old before her time. You actually have to put a subject in the sentence. Moved what? A compass. So the compass becomes the subject. And you would say a compass was moved around a bar magnet. Note how the compass needle moved. You would say it was noted. Or how the compass needle moved, or how the compass needle moved was noted. Now place the compass needle near the poles of a bar magnet. You would say the compass needle was then placed near the poles of a bar magnet. Which way the compass needle pointed was noted at each pole. This direction was the direction of the magnetic field lines, or something like that. Okay, so then the next one, place a bar magnet on the table and cover it with a sheet of paper. You would say a bar magnet was placed on the table and covered with a sheet of paper. Gently and uniformly as possible, sprinkle iron filings over the paper. you would say, as gently and uniformly as possible, the iron filings were sprinkled over the paper. Tap the paper lightly with your finger. Can't have the word your there. That makes it personal. It needs to be impersonal. So you would say the paper was tapped lightly with a finger several times until the filings formed a pattern. The iron filings have aligned themselves with the magnetic field. You would say the iron filings aligned themselves with the magnetic field around the magnet. Okay, and keep going. Carefully pick up the sheet of paper with the filings and return them to their container. We really can return them to the sheet of paper until the very end. Okay, so the sheet of paper was carefully picked up. So rearrange it so it has a subject in the sentence, no yous, I's, me's, we's, no partners' names, has to be totally impersonal, but it also needs to be proper English. Okay, so that's the procedure. The source is a data. So the data in this one, sad, no calculations, no charts, just your drawings. So you're going to staple, each of you will have your own set of drawings that you're going to staple in there. Isn't it sad? Oh, wait, but there are some questions. Okay, so the questions are down here, and maybe I'll wait until you're back in class to ask if there are any issues with the questions. Discussion, you need at least 5 possible sources of error. Always lead with the big ones. Don't lead with the little ones. Don't bury the lead. So you should rank them like most important to least important. So one of the things I asked you to do between now and when I see you again was come up with some. And when you come back, we'll discuss them. Sources of error can't be like your partner or a calculation error or something. It actually has to be like the random error that occurs in the lab or the systematic error. And then the conclusion responds to the purpose. So the purpose was explore the shape, direction, and interaction of magnetic field. So tell me, what did you learn? What did you see? What did you conclude from the whole lab? What are the most coolest and important things you learned? And then the second part, comment on your hypothesis. So that hypothesis you went back and thought about. So were you right? Was your prediction right? Was it wrong? Where did you go astray if it wasn't right? How brilliant were you if it was right? Okay, remember, it doesn't matter if you were right in your hypothesis. You won't lose any points if you were wrong. It's more about your analysis of it in the conclusion. Okay, and then if there were other things that came to light in the questions that you learned that were significant, make sure that you mention those in the conclusion too. Okay, so that's the lab write-up. We'll discuss a due date when I see you again, but don't worry, it won't be due Monday or anything. It can be due the end of next week, so that if you want, but we'll discuss it when you come back, all right?